so today we are going to finally finish our picture. So this is the example that we've been looking at for the past 3 weeks. So today is week number 4. The first week we drew the pot. Then the second week we drew the patterns. And last week we drew the cactus. So today's the day that we get to color the whole thing and finish it. So what I wanted to talk to you about is something called a color scheme. A color scheme is spelled like this, scheme. And you don't say the ch sound, it just says scheme. All right? A color scheme is a set of colors that go together. So when you're doing a project, you can select just a few colors that go together, and you use those colors for the entire project. So you don't just open up your crayon box and use every single color, and you don't use like a whole bunch of colors. You just maybe pick like 4 or 5 colors, and those are the same 4 or 5 colors that you use for the whole thing. So there's certain color schemes that you can think of, like for example, a patriotic color scheme would be red, white, and blue, because those are the colors of the American flag. A Native American color scheme are the colors that you see most of the time when you see Native American art. So these are 3 different examples. So right here is like the line in between the different color schemes. So this color scheme has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. This color scheme, I think they all have 5. 1, 2, 3, and then technically this is a 4 and a 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of these color schemes have 5 colors. So what I want you to do when you're ready to color your patterns, I want you to select one of these color schemes, and then you go into either your colored pencils or your crayons and you select just those colors. Okay, so I'm going to actually use this color scheme right here, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So let me switch over to the document camera so that you're just looking at the patterns down here at the bottom. And I selected these 5 colors, which are the 5 colors from the first Native American pattern, or color scheme, I mean. So I have like a light blue, I have like this turquoise blue, I have a red, and like a peach color, and yellow. When you start coloring your patterns, select an area where you want to start coloring, and you're not going to just color straight across, which is what a lot of people usually do. Instead of just coloring one color straight across, let's use those colors from the color scheme and let's make a color pattern. So I'm going to skip this section and I'm going to go to the next section and I'm going to color that the same red color. And then I'm going to skip this section and I'm going to go to the next section and color that red. So see how I'm making a color pattern? Okay, now the sections that I skipped, I'm going to use another color from my color scheme, and I'm going to color those sections. What color is that? All right, so that's my first pattern. I colored that pattern with my color scheme colors, and now I'm going to use 2 different colors to color these next, these diamonds right here. So let me see what it looks like if I do this blue color, and I'm not just going to color straight across. I'm not going to color the whole diamond. I'm just going to color the larger diamond, and the smaller diamond that's on the inside is going to be another color. So I'm going to color that yellow. And then I'm going to do that same color pattern all the way across. So I'm going to do blue for the larger diamond and yellow for the smaller diamond. Alright, so I've used 4 out of the 5 colors so far from my color scheme, so I still have this turquoise blue that I can use, and then I can start going back and repeating colors. So let's say I'm going to color all of these triangles that are at the top, I'm going to color all of them turquoise. And now I can go back and start repeating colors from my color scheme. So I'm going to use red for all the triangles on the bottom. Okay, now I have one more pattern to color down here at the bottom. And I can repeat this color, so I can go ahead and go back and use this color. And I think I'm going to go ahead and repeat the light blue also. So this is going to be like a peach light blue color pattern, and I'm just going to keep going back and forth between those 2 colors. Alright, so now I have all my patterns colored in, and at this point you can be done coloring the pot if you want to, or you can take another color from your color scheme and color behind these triangles and behind the diamond and color that with another color, or you can just leave it the white color of the paper. And then the last thing to do to finish off this project before you submit it onto Schoology is to color the cactus. Colors. Now, when you're coloring the cactus, you're not going to use the colors from your color scheme. The color scheme colors are for the pot and the patterns down here. When you're coloring the cactus, you can go ahead and get green, because obviously cactus are green. I found a couple of different kinds of green because cactuses are different colors. So I have just a regular green that's going to show up as like a dark green, and then I also have one that's called yellow green. So you can see if you have some different colors of green, and you can color your cactus with different colors of green. And since they grow all the way down into the pot, you color green all the way down into the pot. So I have this one is going to be light green, and then I think I'm going to make the other cactus a dark green. And then the final touch is going to be this little flower. So if you drew any flowers on yours, sometimes flowers on cactuses are white. So if you want to leave it white, you can. Sometimes flowers on cactuses are yellow, so that's what I'm going to choose for my flower. And sometimes cactuses on flowers are pink, so you could also do a little pink flower. Alright, so all the way down into the pot. I'm going to do a little yellow flower. Now, if you have any extra space in the pot, see how this is white right here? Technically, inside of the pot would be dirt, because the cactus would have to be growing out of the dirt. So the last thing I'm going to do is any extra space that I have inside of this opening of the pot, I'm going to color that brown to make it look like the dirt. And that is the last and final touch that I'm going to do, and then you're all set to post that picture on Schoology.